Hey there, YouTube. How's everybody doing out there today? Hope your week is off to a good start. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm trying to keep myself from getting cranky. Our weather here is horrid. I mean, and there's no end in sight. I mean, it just looks like it's going to storm and rain every single day, and that kind of gets me in a mood, but going to make the best of it. Today I want to talk about 5 plant-based foods that I eat daily. And when I say daily, I use a little creative license there. I don't mean that like regimented. I eat every single one of them 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But it does generally translate to 5 and probably 6 days a week that I eat all these things. And a number of them, if you've watched my videos, they won't be any surprise to you. But always kind of tweaking and trying to, just figure out a little bit ways to get more nutrition into my diet. The number one is greens. Greens, always greens. I wish I was in an area where I could get more of a variety of the greens. I have to say that my greens generally consist of kale, lettuce, and the occasional spinach. But the spinach, you got so much oxalates you're dealing with in there that I don't eat a lot of spinach, but lots and lots of kale and lots of red leaf lettuce. In fact, I had one of my green smoothies this morning with a bunch of kale crammed in there, and just so many minerals. And that's where we get all these rich minerals from, and especially calcium is a good one that comes from the greens. So greens are something that I have in one form or another every day. Very, very few days of my life that I don't at least have, if I don't have both, that I don't have a green smoothie or a big salad. So number 2 would be seeds. I've talked about this in the past. I want to keep just pounding that message, and go and look these up. I mean, I'm not like a doctor, or I'm not an expert. I can't sit here and tell you, break it down like a lot of the information will, but these seeds, for a lot of different reasons, seeds, they have they're good in protein, especially the hemp seeds are good in the protein. But the main thing about the seeds is that omega-3 content. And that's why I also too try to I try to vary those, and I mix up my seeds. I think it's good to get all 3 of them. Well, there's probably even more seeds than that, but I like to get hemp seeds, I like to get flax seeds, and I like to get chia seeds. And generally I will get a mix of them on most days. When I'm making my smoothies, for instance, I always put like a tablespoon of the hemp, tablespoon of the chia, and a tablespoon of the flax seeds. Now the flax are better for that omega-3 profile, with the chia seeds just a little bit behind them. Hemp seeds not quite as good, but then you have a good a lot more, like, I don't know if you have a lot more protein than the other 2 seeds, but the hemp seeds are good on protein. I think like in 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds there's 10 grams of protein. So try to get those seeds in every day. The raw people won't like this one because, y'all don't eat anything that ain't raw. But legumes, beans. Nobody's going to talk me out of the beans. There's just too much stuff out there. If you read the Blue Zones, if you look at the cultures and the peoples in the world that have had the highest level of health, they all have one thing in common. They include legumes. And I do the same. I have legumes almost every single day. Now those I get a lot more variety on. I have black beans, I have white beans, I have pinto beans, I have chickpeas, I have black-eyed peas, I have butter beans. But in some way, shape, or form, I get myself some beans in almost every day. I generally eat about a cup and a half of those, and I eat them different ways. I'll eat them with quinoa, I'll eat them with sweet potatoes. I will sometimes just, I mix my food up a lot. Sometimes I will literally make a salad and put some beans in there. Now the chickpeas go really well in salads, but I'll even do odder combinations. Like I've been known to cook some butter beans and put them in there on top of a salad. Nothing wrong with that. The next one is the sprouts. The sprouts, I cannot harp on enough about the sprouts. There's just so much good nutrition in there. The sprouts, they help activate and strengthen our body's I got some notes down here. The broccoli sprouts especially, I want to keep pounding those broccoli sprouts because they contain sulforaphane. And especially in the sprouts are like about 50 times more powerful. I don't know about that. I've heard 1,000 times, I've heard 50, I've heard 20, but the sprouts are a lot more powerful, especially with the sulforaphane, than the actual mature plant or just eating broccoli. And the broccoli sprouts help activate and strengthen our body's natural cancer protection and helps decrease the chance of malignancy. This is some good stuff. Dr. B talks about the broccoli sprouts all the time. Dr. Bernard talks about the broccoli sprouts all the time. So I'm trying to, I don't measure out or anything, but I think I'm usually every day getting at least a good solid half of a cup, if not more, of broccoli sprouts, and a half of a cup, if not more, of the lentil sprouts. In fact, that's something else that I dumped in my smoothie this morning. And once again, that's why I like to talk about my green smoothie a lot. I don't know if people have ever actually made my version of the green smoothie, but I put all those things in there. I put I start with bananas. I put my greens in there. So right there, I've got my greens. As soon as I blend up my bananas and my greens, I put my seeds in there. I put my chia, my hemp, my flax seeds in there, blend that up. Oh, I put some blackstrap molasses in there too. Good also for the calcium and iron. And then after I've blended that, I go back and I blend in my lentil sprouts and my broccoli sprouts. So right there, I've got my green in one meal of the day. I've got my greens, I've got my seeds, and I've got my microgreens, and in a way I've got some of my legumes. I've got the sprouted lentils. The fifth one, and I don't currently eat this one. Well, I would say I probably eat this one 4 times a week. It's just a matter of I need to get to is fermented food. Just go ahead and say it, Jack. I like to eat a little bit of fermented food every day. And some people are afraid of the sodium or isn't that too much salt? And when I'm talking about eating, we don't need a lot of fermented food. It's just so good for the diversity of our microbiome. It's just really good down in our gut. And you don't need a lot of it. And in fact, I wouldn't recommend eating like large amounts of sauerkraut, kimchi, or any of that stuff. For me, I usually just put a couple of little small forkfuls on there, probably 2 tablespoons at the most out of there, and that gives me what I need out of that for the day. Now, the next thing that I'm going to get, one reason that I'm in this room is 2 reasons. Number one, my roommates had some family in town this week, and also to try to block out some of the rain. But as soon as his company leaves, I'm going to start a new batch of microgreens. And I've got the system. I think I've got the system down now that I have Nate, Raw Food Romance is Lissa's husband. I've got his book on sprouting, which also includes information on sauerkraut. So I would go check him out if you're interested in that. But the microgreens are something that I'm going to get my system down on that, just like I've got my system with the sprouting, to where I've just over time gotten to where I know where to start a new batch, and I always have some. I would like to be like that with the microgreens. I would like to be able to have like a big super helping of microgreens every day, and that will help me with the issue of not being able to find as much of a diversity of the actual greens that I like. I've done speckled peas. I'm going to definitely do speckled peas again. I've also gotten some smaller trays so I don't waste, because I used a 10 by 10 tray for my first thing of speckled peas. Way more. I mean, I ate like a maniac for like 4 or 5 days until they weren't like really optimal anymore. So anyhow, I'm going to definitely add those. But those are some things that are just full of the nutrition. Don't believe me? Go look it up. Go listen to one of Dr. Bernard's talks. Go listen to one of Dr. Bulsewitz's talks. But good nutrition. I listen. I'm sorry, anybody out there with me. God bless all you fruitarians that just eat fruit all the time. But I could never see that. I just think we need the variety. I think we need more things. I do eat a ton of fruit though, and right now I'm currently enjoying meme sapote. I've had meme sapote like the last 5 or 6 mornings in a row, and it is just the best in the world. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If y'all like it, please give me a big thumbs up. I'll see you here in a couple of days, and y'all just try to have yourself a great week. Peace.